Thank you, everyone. Okay, we'll get straight into it. I noticed there was a half an hour allocation for this, so we'll just probably hit it for 20 and then open up to question and answers. The basics of this talk is targeted at the students, so this is just to give you a snapshot about when police are asked across the state, whether it be in a PLO format or a cross-cultural liaison officer or crime prevention officer, it's asked to go to a vocational school or uni for orientation or whatever, talking about personal safety. It'll be along these lines, and these are the main areas that we'll be focusing on. We start off with the purpose, so it's to provide accurate and empowering personal safety information to encourage implementation, basically on personal safety strategies, to increase quality of life rather than place limitations. I'll just run through this. I know I'm sounding like I'm going quick, but this is like a 40-minute to an hour presentation, so just to give you a snapshot. We'll keep it informal as well. If you've got questions, just throw your hands up as we go. And we like to give a bit of a disclaimer. There's no all-purpose strategies to preserve your personal safety in all situations. As individuals, we should recognise our own strengths and weaknesses, environmental surroundings, perceived motivations of attack, confrontation, and determine how to best preserve our safety. So when I go to international colleges or schools, I like to have a bit of a icebreaker where you talk to people initially before you do the actual presentation, where they're from, a bit of a background, do they work outside of their studies, what's their sort of lifestyle, catching public transport, just so you get an idea, because it's important that whatever their specific lifestyle is, they tailor personal safety around it. And that's individual for each individual person. And I think police are a small component of a big cog as to providing a safe environment for them to have a good thought that when they think about their time in Australia, for whatever it's been, really worthwhile, beneficial, etc. So that's really important, which we'll cover on as we go through. I just threw this in as reasons why international students might be targeted. I think it's one of your ones, Dave, I got off your PowerPoint. Yeah, just some basic common sense things: communication barriers, shift work, public places, unfamiliar with, naive, and that's not, no disrespect to them, but if you know what I'm saying, unfamiliar with Queensland law, less likely to report crimes, returning to their home country. That's just to get an idea. Any comments on that? Anyone want to add or?
Good old-fashioned racism?
Yeah, well that's a sad part of society as to how big it is in society, how big it is or not. That's debatable, but yeah, that's a possibility. That's and I think every major city around the world, to a degree, is going to be ignorant people with small brains who are racist. 10 core concepts of personal safety. Again, we just go through these basics. And as we go through it, you can see that, like I said, we do keep it informal, so we like to encourage that when we turn up, say, for an orientation day at an international college, we like to obviously be in uniform to first make them feel that they've come to a new country, whatever issues they've had with law enforcement or police in their country, at least when they come to Australia, they're going to see a smiling face. They're going to see someone who, if they do have issues, they're not going to be too concerned, hopefully, to pick up the phone or actually attend a police station, even though language, it's their second language, could be an issue. So that's another big thing why we like to attend. I've been to a few in the city, and I liked how our previous speaker spoke about up to 80,000 international students in the CBD. Really, really incredible, and you're nearly on every second block there's an international college hidden away somewhere. So I guess we encourage those colleges to contact police in the area to say, hey, and why not? It's a free service. Police will come, talk, engage with the students. It is really something worthwhile. We all have the right to feel safe all the time. No brainer. Keep violence in perspective. How do we keep violence in perspective? Again, here, we touch about the media. Obviously, the flavour of the month is Indian issues, so that's high on the media's radar. By educating ourselves about the source of our fears, we can gain an understanding of real risks involved and develop strategies to minimise those risks. So if you Googled and you say, what are the top 10 most safest countries for an international student to study, you know, you can put things in perspective. You know, would you go to Rio de Janeiro or Brisbane? There's things that you, as a potential student or parent of student, will think, well, why would I choose Brisbane over another super city? So, but yeah, so again, we use this example, like I'm from New Zealand, I could use the example, coming over to Australia, scared of snakes and spiders. We don't really have them over there. But, you know, I can name on one hand, I've been here 15 years, how many times I've seen a snake. You know, people think there's koalas running down the road when Australia's sold to them. So putting things in perspective, I think, is key. Commitment. How committed are you to your own safety? Again, we talk about, again, their lifestyle. It is something that, you know, you can argue with someone to say, you know, how committed are you if, let's say a male in his 20s, has just finished his exams for the semester and he wants to go celebrate in the valley, and he goes and drinks 15 rum and cokes in the first 3 hours, and then he's half paralytic, has lost his wallet, his passport. You'd ask you, you know, think about your lifestyle. How committed are you to your own personal safety? It's fine to celebrate and whatnot, but you have a personal responsibility for your own safety. Things to think about on your lifestyle, and how committed are you. Many people are more committed to the safety of their loved ones than they are to their own safety. Then you talk about things like, if you see on the news, hypothetically, a person whose dog is on a running river, and the river's flowing and the farmer wants to save the dog, he's more committed to the dog's safety than his own, and heaven forbid he falls and tries to save the dog and comes to his demise. So again, confidence, and these are just the basics. Why is appearing confident important to your own safety? Then we might get a student out, demonstrate confident walking with your head down. That's not showing confidence. Walking your head up, showing confidence, because they don't know me, I don't know them. If I went to their country and walked around, you make a stereotype of someone just by the non-verbals. So it is something that is really important, that displaying confidence is really key to your own personal safety.